motivates her to support him more. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The USC women's basketball team got an uplifting win Thursday night. The Trojans, 1-6 in their last 7 games, regrouped to upset 8th-ranked Iowa 81-69 at the Galen Center. It was Iowa's first loss in the Big Ten Conference this season. The Trojans also snapped Iowa's 8-game winning streak. Karren Dunn led the Trojans with 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Trojans are at home Sunday against Rutgers. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 2 in the country, is also at home Sunday against Iowa. The Lakers and Clippers are back in action tonight on the road. The Lakers are at Washington, the 6th game of their 8-game road trip. The Clippers take a 3-game winning streak into their matchup at Denver. A win would move the Clippers 1 game below 500. The Clippers were 15 games below 500 on December 18th. A win also would close out the Clippers' record in January at 12-3. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, KBLA delegation, you know what's better than laughing? Laughing while celebrating the legends who made us laugh in the first place. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to present our annual Black History Month luncheon. And this year, we're honoring comedy greats, trailblazers who broke barriers, and funny bones at the same time.
You had to grow up early when we was growing up because your parents were seen to the store to buy. You was too young to buy. I want you to go to the store, get me a 5th of gin and a pack of cigarettes. Mama, I'm 2, they ain't gonna let me have that. Here, take this note. You be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes. And your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there.
We need a little levity right about now. So we're rolling out the red carpet for comedy royalty. D.L. Hughley, Melanie Camacho, Earthquake, Lunel, Dion Cole, Martin Lawrence, and a surprise guest appearance. It's going up Thursday, February 26th in downtown LA at the Grammy Museum. An unforgettable afternoon of stories, celebration, and yes, plenty of laughs, because let's be real, these legends don't just tell jokes. They have changed the game, opened doors, and made history while making us smile.
You gotta go to child support court. You gotta get there real early in the morning. You see brothers going into court. You see them come out 3 hours later. I can't pay this. Let me talk to you, baby. Please, let me talk to the witness, Your Honor. Let me talk to the witness. Brother be working for 3 weeks, get his check is $43.
This year, for the first time ever, we have set aside a limited number of individual tickets for the luncheon. They are going to go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So, if you want a single ticket, or if your company or organization wants to sponsor a table, move swiftly and get to KBLA1580.com right now. All these comedy giants in one room, on one stage, at the same time? Stop it! This event is going to sell out quicker than right now, and sooner than at once. KBLA Talk 1580's annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 26th at the Grammy Museum. It's gonna be legendary, just like them.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You got to laugh the pain away.
But now, since we know how you really feel, it's how we feel.
Don't try, yeah, 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 don't try, yeah.
I like white folks, but I don't like you. All the in the hood wanna fight you. Surprise the nation of Islam ain't tried to find you. Have a rally out LA, you know what's up. Home of the ride and King Ride, we don't give a. Black students ejected from your rally. What? I'm ready to go right now, your racist did too much. I'm about to turn Black Panther. Don't let Donald Trump win that cancer. He too rich, he ain't got the answers. He can't make decisions for this country, he gon' crash us. No, we can't be a slave for him. He got me appreciating Obama way more. Hey, Donald, and everyone that follows, you gave us your reasons to be president, but we hate yours.
Don't try, yeah, don't try.
I don't like your
yeah, don't try, yeah.
KBLA Talk 1580. It's General Strike Day in America. General Strike 2 days. I guess it's today and tomorrow. It's also a Freedman Friday. It's also, they're rounding up journalists and taking them to prison, federal prison. We're going to keep talking about all of it. I and all of us at KBLA have made a pledge to be courageous no matter what. And that is what we are going to stick to. Wanting to follow up on our Freedman Friday, we have a reparations activist who has done some real powerful work around this issue. She's an attorney. She is an activist and an advocate, a graduate of Howard University School of Law and UC Berkeley. She's worked in private practice as a corporate attorney, an entertainment lawyer, and is part of the Santa Monica Reparations Commission there. Cheryce Cryer, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, great. I was part of the Santa Monica Reparations Commission. It does not exist anymore.
I was really hoping that is not what you were going to tell me this morning. I was really, really hoping that is not what you were going to call in here and tell me. As of when?
I guess as of Tuesday, and we did not get notice that there was not going to be a task force anymore. We were put on pause a few months ago, but we received an email Tuesday afternoon that the city council of Santa Monica would be voting on a new proposal for a restorative justice program that was recommended by the brand new city manager.
Wow. So, I mean, that commission has only been seated for what, a month, 2 months, 3 months?
I think the city council hasn't been there that long, but I think they've been there probably as long as the new city manager. So what are we talking about, November, maybe?
Wow. So, this new city manager, I mean, did the new city manager have decision making over this or influence, or was it the Santa Monica City Council? And what is the justification that they're giving for shutting down a thing that they only opened up a couple months ago?
We literally did not receive any communication about it. We kind of got a one-off email saying, hey, the city council is voting on this proposal tonight. We didn't know about it. We didn't have anything to do with it. And I think they did it in a way where we could not, I don't want to say protest it, where we couldn't really bring too much attention to it. So I did show up to the city council meeting because it was on the agenda on Tuesday night to ask them to vote against it. Of course, they did not listen, and they voted for this proposal. And I think, the proposal is something that we probably should explore, what they want to do.
This guy's name is Oliver Chi, the city manager.
Yes.
I don't know, appears to be Asian American. Not that has anything to do with it per se. But you're naming him, even though it's the city council that would take the vote. But so it sounds like you feel like he had some influence over this decision.
The recommendation came from him.
Okay.
From the city manager's office.
Right.
So that's what we were told. And that's actually what's on Santa Monica City's website, is that this recommendation came from the city manager's office. So I'm not trying to quote unquote, throw him under the bus, but that's what is reflected on their public website.
Now, the way, when I first got wind of this from you, the way that I processed it was their All Lives Mattering, the reparations task force of the city of Santa Monica, reminded me of the Black Student Achievement Program, where they say, this is the Everybody Student Achievement Program, which means it's not only it's not reparations, it's not even a restitution, it's not even an acknowledgement of what put it there in the first place.
Yes. So let's take a step back.
Okay.
I almost quit the task force months ago, and we had a main committee And I was just on the subcommittee to provide support, research support. I was not, going to be making any, to my knowledge, any recommendations, but providing assistance with research for their harms report. That's all I had signed up for. I initially wasn't going to apply for the commission. I didn't have the bandwidth, and I didn't know where it was going. And so, I'm thinking this is a commission about the Black residents. And when the commission began, it was clear to me that this was going to be an all lives matter focus. So, I was questioning, well, what is the goal here? What are we doing here? And I did ask that. And I think that there was a lot of pushback from other members on the task force about who was supposed to get the restitution. And I think that started unfortunately, a lot of drama. And I was ready to go, but I said, hey, let me at least try to finish my contribution. And we did, the task force wasn't around for that long. Again, like you said, it was just a few months. But I think that I don't want to call it a fight, because there was we weren't fighting against anything. And I want to say some of the other members of the task force, but there was a group who said, how come this research is not focused on us? How come you're only focused on two communities, et cetera, et cetera? And so I think that raised some red flags for me. But that was brought up to the city council, if I'm not mistaken. It just wasn't cohesive, and I'm not sure what the plan was. I think the city may have been. I don't know, Dominique. I don't know.
You don't know. It sounds like a bait and switch. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you said you had a reparations commission, and then all of a sudden you don't. But not only all of a sudden you don't, it sounds like from the minute you went in, it was sort of a vague restitution for everybody, blah, blah, blah. But this whole thing started because of the Ebony Beach Club and the city of Santa Monica's historical discrimination and seizure of assets from Black people. Yeah. So to me, that's bait and switch. We're saying, oh, we're sorry that we stole from you, and we're sorry we excluded you from the beach, and we're sorry we pushed you out of the best neighborhoods. So here's a task force to do something about it.
Right.
Psych, it's really for everybody.
It's really for everybody and nobody at the same time, because, nothing, there was no concrete outcome that we were supposed to. What was our goal? We were still trying to figure that out, which I don't know if that was really a good use of our time. But let me, again, go back a few years when George Floyd was murdered. And, of course, this is years after the Ebony Beach Club was stripped from the Silas family. I reached out to the city of Santa Monica because they issued a proclamation when George Floyd was murdered saying that they were going to have a Black agenda. And because I have a connection to the city, I have familial connection, I said, hey, let me work with you on your Black agenda. And I got the runaround for a very long time, and I dropped the issue. So to your point, a lot of Black residents and individuals of African-American descent who are connected to the city felt like this task force origin was because of the way the city interacted and treated its Black residents. But even after that, there was a apology issued. I want to say in 2023. An apology was issued by the city specifically to its Black residents. I don't know if they apologized to anybody else, but I have a copy of the proclamation because my mother was given a copy of it in her hands. Not at the city council meeting afterward, but she was given a copy of that proclamation.
I remember that story.
Yes, and they, from what I understand, the copy of the proclamation was only given to 5 families. My family received one of them, right? And so I don't know where this proclamation, if it's just in the records of the city council, or if there's actually a plaque, et cetera. But for me, the origin of this commission was because of this Black apology, this need for a Black agenda, Black Lives Matter, et cetera, et cetera. So I did feel like there was a bait and switch, but I was told that the city attorney was concerned about when the task force was getting started about trying to only focus on one group, and that's probably why there was a All Lives Matter. But I tried to say, hey, there probably needs to be more research done about it. I can only say so much, because again, my position was for research.
Understood, and I'm. Well, I got a lot of questions, but I'm looking on their website, and it says that they unveiled a plaque outside City Hall. This is from November 2024, with a statement apologizing to Santa Monica's African-American residents and their descendants on the anniversary of the statement's adoption 2 years ago. And as a city, we acknowledge the decades of racist and inequitable policies that have caused pain and negative outcomes, blah, blah, blah. And now, as of this week, and I'm on their website, and it certainly says land back and reparations is part of the city's commitment to justice, equity, and diversity. So apparently they haven't updated that yet. But what you're telling me is that as of this week, this commission is no more, and it is now, there is now a restorative justice initiative that applies to anybody, everybody, and has no tie to reparations or Black people in particular.
That's what it appears. I didn't stick around for the presentation by the city manager for this new program, but I'm actually looking at the link or the page to this staff report. And yes, it is a restorative justice program. And for me, restorative justice is a red herring when that term is used. It would be
it's fine if you're talking about formerly incarcerated persons, but when you're talking about reparations and restitution, that's a problem.
Yes, but I have found that restorative justice, that term is used as a blanket term when we're talking about Black people and sometimes other, people of color, minorities, et cetera. But specifically to Black people, restorative justice, I think coming out of the George Floyd protest, I've heard a lot of people in my advocacy use that as a dog whistle when they're trying to right a wrong, and they don't really mean what they're saying. That has been my experience. So when
it's a little nuanced understanding the use of language here.
Yes.
So what? Okay, you know what? I'm ignoring the clock, which I'm not supposed to do because we have so many things we got to cover today.
Yes.
But we'll continue the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's do this. On the evening of Monday, January 26th, something special happened. Hundreds of people joined me for a live preview session on the anatomy of a great conversation, and we went deep, for starters, on the notion of curiosity. I mean, real curiosity. The kind that transforms how you connect with anyone, anywhere. We explored why most conversations fall flat, and I revealed 3 of the top 5 killers of curiosity that sabotage even the best communicators. But here's the thing, we only scratched the surface. The full 4-week journey begins Monday, February 16th with the Founding Members Cohort. This course is for podcasters, leaders, entrepreneurs, anyone who knows that your next great opportunity can begin or end with the quality of a conversation. Space in this founding cohort is limited, so go to TavishTalks.com right now. That's TavishTalks.com. Click register or scan the QR code. Don't let this conversation happen without you.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love. Now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate you. Attorney Cheryce Cryer's talking with us. She's a reparations activist and obviously a lawyer who was part of the City of Santa Monica Land Back and Reparations Commission. The task force, I guess is the official name, which was disbanded this week and morphed into something not reparations-y at all, a restorative justice initiative. I know you have to be careful in what you say. You were part of this task force and you said you were more on the research side of it. But from your perspective, what are the calls to action here? I mean, I don't think it makes sense to just be like, oh, okay, fine then,
I don't want to say too much about the next steps.
Okay.
Because this is there are other people who probably, I'm assuming, will get involved with not just Santa Monica, but the county, the state, the federal government at large. This is a movement that cannot be suppressed. As I've said many times before, this is a God-led movement, and this is only the beginning of restitution, and I don't like to use that word, but restitution for those whose ancestors were enslaved in this country and were subject to Jim Crow and all of the other things that came after Reconstruction. So at first I was very, very angry that I felt like my time had been wasted. And I spent a lot of time on the research. I mean, a lot of time. So much so I got sick. But I still believe God is in the middle of this. And the little bit of money I think that we would have gotten from Santa Monica if there had been direct cash payments, I think what's coming is just going to be so much greater, and that may sound crazy or, wishful thinking, but I just think this really this is a starting point and a learning experience for some of those who have not been in the reparations movement before, that delay is not denial. We will continue on. So.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, the setbacks are normal. That's if it was going to be like, oh, okay, well, here's your money. That would have happened when Callie House started this process, right? Back in whatever it was in the 1800s, right?
Right.
If it was going to be, you know what I mean? If they were going to just do the right thing, oh, here's what we owe you. Thanks for stopping by. Like, that's never been the story of reparations. And so I think that I feel like the anger is justified. And I feel like I hope that it fuels action, but I also don't want us to feel like discouraged. I think the fact that any of this is happening at all under the current environment in our country is a testament to our tenacity and our want to-ness.
Right. And I always tell the story of the children of Israel leaving Egypt. That is how this country is going to have to treat us at the end of the day. They are going to have to give us all of their wealth, their jewels, their real estate, their stock, all of the things. And we need to be very clear that that is what we are demanding and who we are demanding it for. Because before the children of Israel left Egypt, they got that wealth. They did not leave there empty-handed. And so when this thing is said and done, we will not leave empty-handed. I'm sure of that. So this is just, a historical act that will not be forgotten. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, and I think that there's a lot more to do, of course, but we're already not empty-handed. The family of Silas White got paid. There's an apology. There's a plaque. There's an exhibition at Belmar. These are things that have happened, and as long as we hold the line and don't allow them to be removed, like the plaques in Philly, and hold the line, and I think that's probably. Well, let me ask that as a question, since you're an attorney. Do you feel that the Silas White case made them pull back and say, oh, well, we don't want to keep paying black people for all the things we've done to them, so let's disband this and quit before we have more liability?
So I think it was not just this case. The city of Santa Monica, and this is not legal advice, caveat, this is not with my lawyer hat, this is just what I know. The city of Santa Monica had an assault case that was an abuse case, excuse me. And there were claims filed against the city. That was a large settlement. So they've had, from what I understand, several large settlements that they've had to pay out. And Silas White, that was small compared to some of the other settlements from what I've seen. I don't know what the catalyst was, or if they were concerned. It seems like, based on the city manager's report, they were concerned that more people would file cases against lawsuits against the city, similar to the Silas White. But it seems like now they are trying to preclude direct cash payments from this restorative justice program. It looks like there would be community-based programs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not reparations.
No, it isn't. And what's crazy is that initially they said they were going to give payments and possibly give payments, and people 90 years of age and older would be prioritized. So if you're not giving any payments, what's the point of saying you're going to prioritize people 90 years and over? And the fact that they told the White family they could still file a reparations claim once that was established by the city beyond the $300 that they got. So it feels like they are reversing themselves. Let me put it that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and no, it's in writing. An agreement that Ms. White may file a claim under future restorative justice administration claims process established by the city council, yada, yada, yada. If the restorative justice program allows for direct payments to confirm claimants as an alternative to community-based programs. That was part of, the settlement with the White family, but this is listed in the city manager's report for the restorative justice program. So they are allowing the family to file a claim, but yes, they've changed the terms for everyone else unilaterally, which I don't think is right. That is not restorative justice. That flies in the face of what you call restorative justice. That's why I say restorative justice is a dog whistle when we're saying people who were wrong and they don't want to own up to their wrongs.
Attorney Cheryce Cryer, thank you so much for being with us this morning, and please keep us posted if you get any more on this.
All right. You all have a good day.
All right. And you as well. It's a Freedman Friday. We've got some other guests joining us next hour. We'll hear from Deputy Mayor Karren Lane and our own Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey in regards to the arrests of journalists happening this morning, last night, in Los Angeles and Minnesota and beyond. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump says his Trump account savings plan will give kids a fair shot at the American dream.
We'll ensure that Americans don't just end their lives with a nest egg, but instead all Americans will begin their lives with a beautiful nest egg.
Speaking in D.C., he said the program will eventually transfer trillions in wealth with every child born in his second term getting a $1,000 tax-free deposit. New census data shows the U.S. just saw its slowest population growth since 2021, driven by a major drop in net immigration under President Trump's border crackdown. Immigration fell from 2.7 million to 1.3 million in a year. And singer Mario was officially a dad. The Let Me Love You star welcomed his first child, a healthy baby boy, with girlfriend Esmeralda Rios. He shared the news Monday with a selfie in hospital scrubs, calling the experience God's work. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The USC women's basketball team got an uplifting win Thursday night. The Trojans, 1-6 in their last 7 games, regrouped to upset 8th-ranked Iowa 81-69 at the Galen Center. It was Iowa's first loss in the Big Ten Conference this season. The Trojans also snapped Iowa's 8-game winning streak. Karren Dunn led the Trojans with 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Trojans are at home Sunday against Rutgers. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 2 in the country, is also at home Sunday against Iowa. The Lakers and Clippers are back in action tonight on the road. The Lakers are at Washington, the 6th game of their 8-game road trip. The Clippers take a 3-game winning streak into their matchup at Denver. A win would move the Clippers 1 game below 500. The Clippers were 15 games below 500 on December 18th. A win also would close out the Clippers' record in January at 12-3. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
They call it progress, but progress has a price. Land once held in black hands, taken, stolen, erased. Acres paved into highways, fields burned, homes replaced by parking lots and broken promises. Every deed lost was a dream deferred. We talk about millionaires, but what about the millionaires that never were? The farmers whose soil was seized, the families who watched their inheritance disappear, the wealth that never had a chance to grow because its roots were ripped from the ground. They took the land, but never the legacy, because the soil remembers, and so do we. Every story matters. Our mission is to collect, preserve, and amplify these stories. If this is part of your family's history, visit blacklandlost.org/share your story and help bring us closer to justice.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DiPrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
All right. We're expecting to hear from the deputy mayor and my colleague as well. My colleague, Dr. Nii-Quartelai, Quartey, but the crazy news just keeps rolling in. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announced today that another round of files regarding Jeffrey Epstein have been released. It's 2,000 videos and 180,000 images, but these people think they are slick because not only are they doing it on general strike, no work, no school day, they're doing it on a Friday, which is traditionally what you do when you want to bury a story, but they also have included, this is a quote, large quantities of commercial pornography and images seized from Epstein's devices, which he did not take or someone around him did not take. In other words, they just released a whole bunch of porn videos that are commercial videos that don't, in other words, expose specific particular electeds. They think they're slick. They're going to distract you with some porn to keep a porn shield to cover the pedophiles. That auto worker was correct. He is a pedophile protector. My colleague, Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, is joining me on the phone. He is, I'm not sure if he's in Washington, D.C. or here in Los Angeles, but Dr. Quartey is a journalist and educator and the chief national affairs analyst for KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning, Dr. Quartey. Dr. Quartey, can you hear me?
Hey, Dominique. I hope you can hear me.
I do hear you. Yes. So I guess we're having phone drama again, Miles. The question is, of course, your response to the arrest of Minnesota journalist Georgia Ford, who did stellar work around the case of Michael Brown. And has continued to be on the front lines as a fearless black woman journalist. And, of course, Don Lemon, the former CNN host, both of whom were taken into custody early this morning. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, says that happened at her direction. And it is they're charged with violating the law that prevents people from obstructing places of worship or abortion clinics. Dr. Quartey, can you hear me now?
I can. Hi, Dominique. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's a wild morning. What do you make of these arrests?
You know, these arrests, the arrest of former CNN anchor and independent journalist Don Lemon and Georgia Ford, should send a chill up all of our spines. I saw the video, a video that Georgia Ford sent out about 4:30 this morning local time, of ICE agents knocking on her door. Stop and imagine for a moment what it would feel like to have the federal government knocking at your door for doing your job. There was no criminal activity that took place. In fact, there was a federal judge that dismissed the complaint against Don Lemon and Georgia Ford and others because they saw that there was no criminal activity that took place. There's nothing criminal about live streaming a protest. There's nothing criminal about exercising your First Amendment right. And what this Department of Justice did, what the U.S. Department of Justice did, was shopped around their complaint, and they found a judge that would sign off on it. They found a supposed grand jury that would sign off on it, and they arrested Don Lemon here in Los Angeles while he was doing what? Doing his job, covering the Grammy Awards. They arrested Georgia Ford while she was doing what? Sleeping in her home. And this is absolutely un-American. We cannot tolerate it. For the silent majority out there, Dominique, the silent majority, people who don't see themselves as activists, that, don't have a tendency to protest things, this moment is summoning you to step up, because this will revisit itself on all of our doors. It is just a matter of time. It's also not a coincidence that this is happening the same day that the Department of Justice, the so-called Department of Justice, has released another 3 million pages of the Epstein files.
Yeah, which much of that turns out to be just commercial porn, according to their own description, and not specific files on electeds, which is and others, which is awfully convenient. We're going to distract you with a bunch of porn, so that you forget why you were looking at these files in the first place. But I think, we spoke off the air, Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, and one of the things you were pointing out, which I absolutely agree with, is this is meant to put a chill on the way that today's general strike is reported on.
I'm sorry, Dominique, you were breaking up a little bit.
Oh, just, if this is meant to intimidate us, the journalists, from covering today's activities. Okay, I think
I'm sorry.
I think Dr. Quartey is having a hard time hearing me. That's how I read it. I read it as, an intimidation factor. I read it as a means of also intimidating the public at large. And the thing is, I don't think it's going to work, because we as journalists have watched the president belittling and disparaging journalists in general, black women in particular. We've watched Carolyn Leavitt, his press secretary, just insulting and condescending to journalists. We've seen the way that, newsrooms are being sued by the president and writing big checks. Now, I know some folks are intimidated by this and they'll keep their mouths shut to keep their jobs, but I think there's a good number of us who are just fed up with this, and I hope that we are going to push back. I know for me personally, what it does is it makes me say, I'm going to speak out louder, because you don't get to arrest my colleagues to suppress speech. Because make no mistake, that's what it's about. Don Lemon and Georgia Fort were not even protesting. They were merely covering a protest in a church. So what you're saying is that if someone is breaking a law, we as journalists don't have the right to cover them. That's ludicrous. And I think for many of us, it's just going to make us speak out more. For me, all I'll tell you is that, if they arrest me or Dr. Fort or Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey or Tavis Smiley, then I want you to speak out just the way we're speaking out on behalf of them. Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, will this intimidate journalists?
Journalists will not be deterred. Journalists will not be intimidated. Freedom of the press is a part of the Constitution of the United States. We take that obligation seriously. And if our democracy did not have brave journalists that were willing to speak truth to power, then we wouldn't be the country that we've become. We wouldn't have experienced the progress. We wouldn't. Being a more perfect union would be a joke, right? We're not perfect, right? But we strive to be more just. We strive to be more free. We strive to afford more rights and liberties to our fellow Americans and to our neighbors. And so, we will not be deterred about this. We're all making noise about it. This is a national day of protest, and these recent events with Don Lemon and Georgia Fort, and I'm learning, Dominique, as we're on the air live right now, I'm learning that there are at least 2 more journalists that have been arrested, Trahim Jeem Cruz and Jamil Lundy. And so we aren't letting up on this, and neither should our audience.
I did see that. I wasn't clear that if they were journalists or protesters, but I guess you're confirming that they are journalists, and I'm assuming that this is the first of many, because this is, this feels like a vendetta against Don Lemon specifically by the Trump administration. Trump always hated Don Lemon when he was on TV. This is his revenge era that he's living in. And then Georgia Fort, who was so instrumental in the covering of Ferguson. And again, I think part of, just the overturning of some of these convictions of police accountability cases. It feels like revenge.
Yeah, it does feel. It feels like revenge because it is revenge. I mean, this is a president that ran and said, "Vote for me. Let me be your retribution." You had, former Vice President Kamala Harris running against him, reminding us time and time again on the campaign trail. I was there covering it live, Dominique, and she kept saying that, if you vote for him, he's going to be on a retribution tour. On the first day, she said, I'll go in the Oval Office with a to-do list. He's going to go into the Oval Office with his retribution list. And that is what is playing out.
Yeah.
And
retribution
it's not gonna let
and
up.
retribution and thievery, I could be the themes. Yeah, no, I don't see it letting up. And I love that Lemon's lawyer says they're going to fight the charges vigorously and thoroughly, that it's an attack on the First Amendment. But I don't think this administration cares about the Constitution at all.
Clearly, if they cared about the Constitution, we would not be here. If Republicans in Congress cared about the Constitution, we wouldn't be here either. I mean, come on, Dominique, there are no profiles in courage that we're seeing in Congress right now.
Not at all.
My goodness.
The government's probably going to
yesterday-
shut down at midnight, right, Dr. Nii-Quartelai?
Well, just yesterday we were reporting that Senate Democrats reached a deal with Republicans to basically fund parts of the government, and they've kicked the can down the road for 2 weeks in terms of funding for the Department of Homeland Security. How many more examples of lawlessness do we need to see perpetrated by this administration, perpetrated by this Department of Homeland Security, perpetrated by this Department of Justice? How many demonstrations of lawlessness do we need to see until our elected members of Congress do their job and bring about some accountability, some law and order? The fact that they're entertaining funding any part of this, that's also disturbing.
Yeah. Well, not holding my breath, but Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, thank you for joining this morning, and thank you for your insights. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, Dominique.
We're going to hear from the mayor's office, the deputy mayor of community safety, joining us next. A response, Don Lemon, of course, arrested right here in L.A., trying to cover the Grammy Awards. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money, or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Yeah, we're being joined this morning now by Deputy Mayor of the City of Los Angeles, Karren Lane. Good morning, Deputy Mayor Lane.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Dominique, for giving us the opportunity to share the mayor's statement on the recent arrest of Don Lemon and Georgia Fort to your audience.
Yes. Well, the arrest of Georgia Fort, we know, happened in Minnesota, but they're both connected because it's supposedly in regard to them covering a protest at a church. And of course, excuse me, Don Lemon arrested here in Los Angeles, correct?
That's right. That's right. Both of their arrests were related to their coverage of a protest that went into a church, and they were arrested for simply following that protest into a church in Minneapolis while they were reporting the story.
And so the mayor is speaking out, I assume, because the arrest of Don Lemon happened in our city.
That's correct. That's correct. Don Lemon, he's an internationally known and renowned journalist as well as a friend of the mayor. He was arrested last night by federal agents and is now in custody in Los Angeles again for simply doing his job and following a protest in Minneapolis.
So, I mean, what is the city's position? What can the city even do? That's a federal agency.
Absolutely correct. What the mayor, obviously the mayor has reached out to the U.S. attorney. She's checking on Don Lemon's status. What she would like your viewers to know is that the arrest of these journalists for going into a church in the course of reporting is shocking enough. But what's even more alarming is that it's no secret that Don Lemon is a Trump critic. The mayor wants to be very clear that President Trump is not de-escalating anything after the fatal shootings of U.S. citizens by federal agents. In fact, the arrest of Don Lemon and Georgia Fort demonstrates quite the opposite, that he's escalating. So first, Trump's agents shoot and kill people exercising their First Amendment rights, and now we're arresting journalists for going into a church. It's an egregious assault on constitutionally protected First Amendment rights. The mayor is following this issue, as well as has always said that the greatest tool for Angelenos is peaceful protest. And so she wants to encourage folks to exercise their First Amendment right, but to do that peacefully as well. And again, she's following this issue, and she's made calls to the U.S. attorney.
So basically weighing in with the U.S. attorney and just saying that our city doesn't support the arrest. What do we hope that will do? I mean, and of course, the mayor's office, we don't expect any different. It is a general strike. Of course, we expect you guys to be calling for peaceful protests. But this is another kind of escalation. It's not just protesters. We're talking about journalists doing our jobs. And one of members of the Pam Bondi's office said that it's pseudo-journalism. He said, Harmeet Dillon said that your First Amendment does not protect your pseudo-journalism from disrupting a prayer service. You are on notice, which makes it seem like they're planning to arrest more of us.
And that is the mayor's concern, and I think that's why she thinks it's really important that she has a strong voice calling out how egregious it is to actually impede on journalists, impede on the First Amendment rights of all Americans. And so she is using her voice, Dominique, to continue to be really the face and voice of resistance against the federal intrusion in American cities, but also against people's First Amendment rights. I think you have seen and know that the mayor has said from the very beginning that L.A. Would be a test case. We were the first city where the Trump administration attempted to demonstrate how far they could go with federal powers to really intrude on the rights, but also to create fear and terror in local cities. So the mayor has been on the front line. She's been in the front of ICE, physically, literally, and in cameras, calling for ICE to get out of Los Angeles and working
with activists and organizers and other elected officials to do what she can to exercise the full power of the mayor to protect Angelenos and to protect Americans.
Right. So if ICE shows up at the front door here at KBLA at 9 o'clock when I get off the air, or anywhere, any journalist, the LA Sentinel, the radio station I used to work at, what are we meant to do? The chief of police has made it clear he's not going to protect us. He won't even protect us from masks. What are we to do?
Dominique, I don't want to give you legal advice over the call, over the phone. I think it's something that we obviously need to make sure that all Angelenos understand their rights when they're engaged with any federal agent. And that's some of the work that we've tried to do at the city, making sure that families understand their rights, working with organizations, both legal organizations as well as immigrant right groups, that people actually understand their rights. But I would be amiss to try to give you actual legal advice over this call. What we really want to do is to communicate today that the mayor is standing with Angelenos and is equally outraged about the arrest of these two journalists.
Yeah, I don't think I was looking for legal advice, but it feels like we're in a moment, not just journalists, but as citizens in general, where we are under attack from the federal government, and our cities and counties have limited power and authority, or either they have limited authority or they're choosing not to exercise that authority to protect us.
It is true that there is a limitation of local authority to against the federal law and the exercise of federal rights. I do think that what California elected leaders have done, Los Angeles in particular, the mayor has joined the city in several litigation and lawsuits against the federal government's overstep of their federal rights and governance in the city of Los Angeles. That includes joining lawsuits to push back on the presence of National Guards in our city and other acts here in the city of Los Angeles that we believe exceeds the power of the federal government. And so I would want to communicate that the mayor is exercising all of her power. I think other local elected officials are also looking to the courts as well as legislation to act as a check on federal abuse.
Yeah, well, we certainly appreciate the mayor's office checking in with us this morning and standing up to the federal government and the Trump administration in this perilous time. It's much appreciated. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Dominique. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. The best of Tavis Smiley is on now. He has had a great week, so you don't want to miss these highlights that are coming up. You can tap in with me on social media. Follow me at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio on all social media platforms. You can find us at KBLA 1580 everywhere. Please like, follow, subscribe, and comment. We'll keep you abreast even when we're not on the air. Like my father, the late, great Mary Baraka, used to say, a man is either free or he is not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom. Until next time, KBLA delegation, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump says his Trump account savings plan will give kids a fair shot at the American dream.
We'll ensure that Americans don't just end their lives with a nest egg, but instead all Americans will begin their lives with a beautiful nest egg.
Speaking in D.C., he said the program will eventually transfer trillions in wealth with every child born in his second term getting a $1,000 tax-free deposit. New census data shows the U.S. just saw its slowest population growth since 2021, driven by a major drop in net immigration under President Trump's border crackdown. Immigration fell from 2.7 million to 1.3 million in a year. And singer Mario was officially a dad. The Let Me Love You star welcomed his first child, a healthy baby boy, with girlfriend Esmeralda Rios. He shared the news Monday with a selfie in hospital scrubs.